All right, we're back, Aman. This is my favorite question. One of my favorite questions to ask people is, influencers, they come in, I find they come in all sizes, all cultures, all languages, all everything. Who's been an influencer in your life?
Very interesting and a very deep question, in fact. I feel blessed that the main influences in my life have been my parents, my grandparents, and then some of my teachers who have taught me during the life. And some people like you, I meet and develop as friends. And if you have the time, I would like to share who all some of these people are who have actually made me who I am today. My father has been a major mentor and influencer on my life in terms of my etiquettes, in terms of my resources. The very fact I'm here, as I told you, I discussed with him, I've debated, and he has told me the fact that doing research in commerce and economics was important, and we do work. And fortunately, I did lead his path going there on. Then my mother has gotten me the patience, the structure, in terms of perseverance, in terms of understanding, appreciating life. She has imbibed those structures in me. I always look upon her. It's not that I don't fight with them. They live with me, I live with them, and we fight almost every day. There is not a day which does not go where I don't fight. But these fights end over and my life clicks back again. And that's very important. Apart from them, I have had my grandparents, both from my mother's side and my father's side. My father's side were business oriented, but my mother's side were teachers as well. So each one of them, my grandfather was a John Hopkins scholar, a Fulbright scholar for the United States at John Hopkins University, my mother's side. And then my grandmother from my mother's side again was a teacher of mathematics. So each one of them influenced their own way. And then my love for my grandparents from my father's side actually taught me the way business life. I saw them very apt. My grandfather, who used to be very uptight, shoes shining, suits dressed, hair tight, every second, irrespective of his age, smiling like you. And that's where I learned that part from him, to keep apt, to do things. So discipline I got from him in a way. My grandmother's side, again, she was very caring. She would look at everybody. She would take care of everybody. She would teach me that you must learn to respect everybody. And I touch the my feet of my parents, everyone who is an elder. I feel blessed. I feel lucky. Like this, I've had large number of professors. I'll name a few only because the list can go on. Professor A.L. Nagar, who has taught me econometrics, who was a vice chancellor of the University of Delhi. Then Professor Kanti Sarup, who's been also my professor and professor of my father for his PhD dissertation. Then there have been other professors. Then I've had Robert Merton, who influenced me and helped me decide, who was a Nobel laureate teaching at Harvard. James Merles, then Franco Modigliani, who is almost like my godfather, who's also a Nobel laureate. I spent a lot of time. I stayed with him in Martha's Vineyard at his house, and it was amazing. I taught him Indian cuisines. He taught me some of the other things, American ways of life. We discussed about it. So I had been influenced by so many people from that perspective. And then I meet good friends like you. Each one of you influences me in a way. As I said, I'm still trying to capture that beautiful smile you have, that positivity you bring to the environment. I feel that I still miss it because of my economics and finance background. I'm fairly rigid in nature or more data oriented. And that's where I tend to lose it, but then you have it. So I want to learn it from you. Similarly, a large number of people who I gain. There are people who give me spirituality, people who give me soul. It's not one. So, I feel blessed by looking at, and these days, when I look at the environment, I look at the birds, I look at trees sparkling. I think it's one of the Mother Earth has become one of the biggest inspirer to me in terms of re-looking at my life and going forward. So, not one. I'm sorry. I don't have one, but many.
I knew there wouldn't be just one, and I'll just conclude by saying, you're definitely a positive influence on me and a lot of people, and I loved your expression of how you take young people like plants and you grow them, and that becomes a legacy. So, kudos to you for your passion, for your knowledge that you share, and just for being one of the real good leaders who care. So, thanks.
Thank you. Very kind of you, and I'm happy that you included me in the series which you have, and I hope the message can go clear to a large number of people that they need to make a difference in people's life. And as long as we make difference in people's life, we can bring smiles and happiness to everyone. There is enough in this world for every one of us. We only need a small space to be happy in our hearts. And if we have that connect between the hearts and the minds, we can make everybody happy. Thank you. Vande Mataram and Jai Hind.
Amen, man.